The top 10 most expensive cities in the world. If you ever wonder about the normal life of the richest people in the world, you're gonna want to know the top 10 most expensive cities to live in. Number 1 on the list is Tel Aviv in Israel. Last year, the Economist Intelligence Unit, or EIU, studied the cost of living in over 173 locations throughout the world, comparing the prices of over 200 products and services across 10 distinct categories to determine the world's cheapest and most costly towns. The Israeli city of Tel Aviv, the city that never stops, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, is now the most costly on the earth when it comes to paying for everyday expenses including rent, food and drinks, recreation, cigarettes, transportation, clothing, utilities, and gasoline. Tel Aviv is Israel's modern city, its cultural center, dining destination, and beach paradise. When compared to other cities, Tel Aviv is significantly more expensive to acquire alcohol. Second, transportation, also second, personal care items, fifth, and recreation, sixth. It is said that due to the strength of the Israeli shekel against the US dollar, the city obtained a cost of living score of 106 in 2021. There was also a considerable increase in groceries and transportation prices in the said city. Number 2. Paris, France. This is one right here is actually pretty obvious. Paris, being home to most celebrities and huge names in the world, ranked second in last year's list of the top 10 most expensive cities to live in. France's iconic capital, in addition to housing the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and the gleaming Champs-Élysées, is known to have a cost of living index of 104. Paris was the first on the list last year until Tel Aviv got the spot. The cost of clothing, accommodation, and transportation are a few of the things that make life in the city very expensive. Number 3. Singapore. But before we continue, go ahead and click the subscribe and like buttons. It takes a lot to make these videos. Your small actions can tell YouTube to keep promoting our videos. Also, tell us in the comment section which one of these cities have been to. Thanks! Now back to the video. Singapore has long been praised for its immaculately clean streets and buildings, but it turns out that living in the world's cleanest city comes at a cost. With a score of 104, the metro tied with Paris as the second most expensive city worldwide. In Southeast Asia, Singapore hits the top spot. Singapore is famed for its competitive spirit, with some of the world's most spectacular skyscrapers and the award-winning Changi Airport. Experts of the EIU claimed that the results are unsurprising, given that Singapore's housing prices are expected to continue growing in 2021. What is Singapore most proud of? Well, as they say, Singapore is the cleanest and the greeniest city in the country. Ironically, they also have one of the world's most affordable and excellent food. Number 4. Switzerland's largest city, Zurich. Next on our list is Switzerland's largest city, Zurich, which definitely doesn't come as a surprise given that it's the world's financial and banking capital. Zurich got the 4th spot in the list of most expensive cities on the planet. The city is as pricey as it is attractive, with a cost of living rating of 103 due to its mountainous location on Lake Zurich. What caused the high living cost in Zurich? According to research, currency fluctuations, supply chain issues, the influence of taxes and subsidies, and shifts in consumer preferences during the health crisis all contributed to price increases, making it more challenging for the people in this city to keep up with all of them. Some of the most expensive commodities in Zurich include groceries, rent, restaurants, clothing, entertainment, public transportation, and health insurance. Electronics and education, on the other hand, are less expensive than in many other countries, as well as taxes. Number 5. Hong Kong. Despite the fact that Hong Kong is a Chinese special administrative area, it is actually ranked among the world's largest and most expensive cities in the world. In 2021, Hong Kong had the world's most expensive petrol prices, with an average cost of $2.50 a liter, among other things. Because of this, Hong Kong's cost of living rating went up to 101 last 2021. Apart from the expensive petrol prices, rent is also another reason for Hong Kong's high cost of living. Housing prices are relatively high due to the low quantity of rental houses in the neighborhood. Number 6. New York City, USA. Here's another pretty obvious one. If you're planning to live in a city that never sleeps, you're gonna want to make sure that you can keep up with the cost of living. New York City, which served as the survey's baseline, received a score of 100 and was ranked 6th due to the high cost of everything from groceries to gas. The city has long been on the list. New York City has always been known for being one of the world's most costly cities. The high cost of living here is primarily attributed to the city's expanding economy and the diverse job market. The city's rents are at historic highs, leaving more than 1.5 million New Yorkers in poverty. Number 7. Geneva, Switzerland. I can't tell if having two of your biggest cities are part of the top 10 most expensive cities in the world is something to be proud of, or vice versa. But yes, Switzerland's Geneva ranked number 7 on the last year's list. The costly metro, which has a cost of living rating of 99 for 2021, is located on the huge Lake Geneva near the French-Swiss border. Apart from the fact that this city is a financial center, it is also where the headquarters of the United Nations and the Red Cross in Europe is located. For instance, renting an apartment in Geneva is far more expensive than New York or Paris, and more than twice as expensive as in Amsterdam or Brussels. Wow! Apart from that, amounts for charges and utilities, which often include building heating costs and upkeep, are added to the monthly rent. This is a partial charge, and the actual consumption will be computed and charged or reimbursed later. The tenant is then responsible for paying the electricity bill. Number 8. Copenhagen, Denmark. The cost of living study for 2021 gave this northern, waterbound city a score of 97. While the cost of food and housing in Copenhagen is exorbitant, the city is populated with residents who prefer to ride their bikes rather than drive, which you'd think would make gas and transportation prices more manageable. According to another report by Mercer's 2021 Cost of Living City Ranking, Copenhagen, Denmark is also named the most expensive city in the entire European Union. Number 9. Los Angeles, California. In the most recent list of the top 10 most expensive cities in the world, Los Angeles was ranked 9th, with a score of 96, just 4 points behind New York City. Los Angeles has a large effect on national culture. In addition to its palm tree-lined boulevards and famous nightlife, Los Angeles has a higher concentration of jobs in the arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media than other cities. And many people come here to build a name for themselves in these fields. Other factors that contributed to this score were housing rental and purchase prices, utilities, food, and transit costs. Number 10. Osaka, Japan. Last on the list is Osaka, Japan. Osaka is highly recognized for its delicious casual cuisine and friendly locals. It's probably Japan's street food capital, and it's famous for its appetizers like takoyaki and okonomiyaki among foodies. Osaka is also known for its vivacious, outgoing residents who make eating and drinking in the city a memorable experience. Although you may think that Tokyo would have a lower cost of living than Osaka, the data show that this Japanese city, which has a cost of living rating of 94, is actually a little more expensive than the country's capital. The good thing is that, although the cost of many items and services in Osaka is outrageously high, budget-conscious visitors can still enjoy the city's famous and reasonably priced street food.